Hello, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to my channel. This is Spring Porter with Spring Solutions LLC. In this video, I am going over, this is sort of a part two to the video dealing with the state of New Jersey. I finally received payout from that. I ran into a little bit of a snag, and another crazy nuance came up in that particular case involving my application. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm also going to go over a small deal that I received in the Northern District of Georgia, and this is dealing with a creditor. So if you're interested in hearing about those two cases, please stay tuned. Please note, as always, I am not an attorney. This information is not indicated as legal advice. If you're new to my channel, or if you haven't logged in a while, I am selling cosmetics in addition to doing this. You want to check out 3queensbeautyllc.com. That's my website I have with my mom and my sister. If you want to check out my YouTube channel with 3 Queens Beauty LLC, you can check out some makeup looks. It'll be lifestyle talk, things pertaining to women, things like that. So if you're interested, go on over to that. So this deal in New Jersey, I believe that I got a court order May 24th. Now, usually what happens is there's a 14-day waiting period. Once you got the order, it takes about 14 days or so to receive the check. So I should have gotten it around January sometime, or June sometime, actually, because I got the court order in May. So I noticed that the funds were not coming. So I called the clerk and I said, hey, I'm so-and-so. I got a court order. It was on May 24th. I'm looking at the court docket right here. I just want to know where the check is. I haven't received it. Can you give me an ETA on it? And she says, oh, you know what? No one ever sent the financial administrator or clerk the order. So it has been granted and it should have gone to us. I apologize for that. So I said, all right, I appreciate you looking into it. So they submitted the check to me, and it came an electronic fund transfer. So New Jersey is one of those that has the ability to send it to you in an electronic fund transfer. As I mentioned, some states will not. Now, I have not worked in all districts, so I cannot tell you which states will give you a check and which ones won't. I'm only giving you what's based on my experience with my own deals. So add New Jersey in that particular category of which state is going to be giving you an electronic funds transfer. All right. So if we take a closer look at my banking statement or my transactions, it will say this amount. So 342,720 is the exact amount that's listed on the court order here. And it says again that it went to, my PO box. They have my PO box listed here, but they sent it to my again, my checking account, because based on the documents that I tell you in the course that have the districts that have the ability to send an electronic fund transfer, once you fill out those documents, it will go to your bank account. So they did that, they sent it here, but notice in the description box or in the description area for that transaction or that entry, it does not say a case number. It does not have a name. It does not have anything. It just says Treasury Miscellaneous Pay. So if you're going to be doing these and you do them enough and you get a few at a time and they all go to your checking account at one time, and I had that happen, well, 3 checks came to me in the form of checks for the District of Massachusetts, and it had the names on them, so I knew who they were for. But let's say they went all to your checking account, they didn't have names. You have to keep good records to know who's getting what. You don't want to be in a predicament where you're like, oh my God, this is here and I'm not sure who this is for because you forgot to keep records. Make sure you're keeping your good records, and make sure that you are good with finances. If you're not good with budgeting your money, if you're not good with paying things on time, like that you're not the one in the house that pays the bills, maybe you have a spouse who does them, make sure you have someone that knows how to do the billing and that can pay things on time, because you're going to have to take your part out and give the rest to your client. All right, you got to make sure you know how to do the accounting part of it. If you don't have the ability to do that, you don't like doing those types of things, find somebody who can do it for you. All right. So that is basically it for the transaction. That's basically what the entry looks like. Another thing that came up that I found interesting, for this particular deal in New Jersey, someone had already tried to go after the funds. It was another asset recovery agent, was not a student of mine, but it was denied because they didn't fill in or get approved certain documentation based on what I read from the court docket. So it got denied, and that makes the funds still available. So I submitted my application. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Clearly the funds are here. But I did have that asset recovery agent put in a response to the court that basically said that they should be allowed to have the funds they should be allowed to have the funds, and the funds should not go to me because he had basically a signed contract. He had a signed contract. He was doing a buyout. He bought out this claim or this amount of unclaimed funds from the client. But again, those have to be approved, and he didn't do that extra step. So here it is that he already bought something that didn't get approved, so he's upset about that, right? So he responded to my application, basically uploading all the things that he filed with the court previously and why it shouldn't have been denied. So he was kind of like having his day in court, so to speak, but it wasn't a court hearing. It wasn't the proper setting. And I'd already had an order granting that the funds go to me. So there really is no overturn, but he was wanting it or my application to be overturned so that the funds go to him. He didn't call me. He didn't email me. He didn't really file a complaint. I think he's just throwing frivolous words around, but he doesn't really have a leg to stand on because the federal court has already issued their order and their payment based on the information that I sent to the court. So it can't be overturned, but he's just upset because his contract is basically null and void. And so in that instance, he's just out of money because I don't know exactly how his contract is worded, but if you haven't performed your duties in the contract with getting things approved and getting things from the court, then you can't expect it to be a valid contract. That's just based on what I'm believing, and I remember from taking contracts when I took the paralegal program. So if I'm saying all that to tell you, it's important to read the court docket. If you're going through certain cases and you're reading applications for unclaimed funds, make sure you know, is it for your particular deal that you're going after? Or maybe it's for another creditor, or it's for another person. Make sure you're reading it clearly. You're going to look for the keywords ordered or denied, because that's essentially, there's only two things that can happen with another application previously has been filed. So make sure you know which category you're in, you know? That's all that I really wanted to caution you. If a court is ordering something or there is an attorney with a formal motion, then you probably want to be on alert and you may want to reach out to a lawyer to respond for you. This, however, was not the case. It was just another party basically just being upset and blowing off steam. So it pays to know, again, how to read a court docket. See if something is a formal motion. It will say motion. It will say, notice to the court. It won't say response. A simple response and a simple letter to the court is not a motion. It's not a hearing. It's not overturning anything. So that's not the way the courts communicate. So don't be alarmed if anyone ever decides to do that to you in your case. You don't really have to be alarmed, because just because someone complains doesn't mean that it's going to go in their favor. All right. And that didn't even delay, or wasn't the reason why my funds got delayed. It was delayed because one of the clerks just simply forgot to check on the court order itself. All right. So let's move on to the next one. This case, I just got an order granting the funds go to me in the Northern District of Georgia. Now, I did get a deal in the Middle District of Georgia a few months back, I think the beginning of the year. That was easy to work in and they were fast. This district in the Northern District of Georgia is also fast to work in. A company filed bankruptcy in Georgia, essentially. They went out of business, they filed bankruptcy, and their employees, some of them didn't get all of the money that was owed to them. So this client, my client, she had worked there for years, and she was upset at the fact she filed a claim for basically unpaid wages or unpaid vacation time. And she should have gotten that. So she still was upset about that years later. And she said, yeah, I'll work with you in getting that back. It's so upset that they didn't give me the funds that I was owed. So, and this is a small amount. She filed for more than $1,240. I think it might have been for a few $1,000s, and she didn't get awarded all of that, but this is what she was able to get. She still accepted it. So because of that, I took $240.80, which is basically the change of that, and here she's going to get just $1,000 back. But she's like, hey, I'll take it. I appreciate you calling me. So sometimes it's cool to see the different nuances in cases. This is the second, I think, or maybe third creditor deal that I've gotten. I usually work with debtors because the court dockets on these can be long. But this one, I was like, let me just see if I can get it. Maybe she is interested, and she was. So sometimes it just works like that. So easy to work there. I sent this earlier part of July, and I'm already got the order on the 21st. So now I'm just waiting on the funds to come back from that. So I hope that this motivates you. If you have any questions, please email me at springsolutionsllc.com. If you're interested in the course, please check on the link. And if you are interested in things pertaining to cosmetics, 3queensbeautyllc.com. You check that out on my YouTube channel. If you want some eyeshadows, some accessories with eyeglasses, lipsticks, and things like that, we have all that over there. T-shirts and things like that will be soon to come. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.